Hey, dear ones. So I just had a podcast scheduled to have a guest on my podcast, and they did not show up. Has that ever happened to you? I feel like in my life, because all of my life is based on appointments to meet other people on Zoom, it is like 10 times more easy to forget something when it's on Zoom. And I don't have one of those systems set up where like it gives someone 100 reminders, which maybe I will learn how to do at some point. But so I end up with a lot of no-shows and I'm like sitting here and when you get yourself all ready to do something and you're like, well, and the only thing that comes to mind to do instead is like social media. Maybe it's just me. But listen, I've had this video idea on my list for a really long time. And so I figured that since it popped into my head and I had this cancellation, that it must be that this was the time when it was meant to be made. So this is a sweet activity that was created by Deb Dana, who's kind of the like clinical, like practical application side of polyvagal theory. Polyvagal theory was originated by Dr. Stephen Porges, and he's awesome. He's like the super sciencey side. He's also like a really warm, gentle person. So he's not like cold or like, you know, not connected to the human experience of how polyvagal theory affects people. He created the SSP and he's an awesome, warm therapist vibe. But Deb Dana is like a total therapist person. It's like the most like nurturing, warm, like energy you could ever be with. She did a lot of the training for the SSP certification that I went through. And this is the activity that she does with folks that I have often thought, like, I should do this at the beginning of SSP. And then there's like, I'm so eager to get into the listening, and there's so much else that we talk through that I just haven't integrated it yet. But I think that what I'm going to start doing is have people do it like asynchronously, maybe via this video. So let's see if that happens. In the meantime, you all can just do it. It's a really cool activity. It's called the autonomic ladder mapping activity. So what is the autonomic ladder? So polyvagal theory says that there are these three circuits of the vagus nerve. Okay. What does circuit mean? Don't ask me. From what I can understand, basically it's like the three sort of signifies the three stages of the evolution of the vagus nerve. So early on, the vagus nerve was just dorsal vagal. And this you can think of like the like reptile like response. All it can, well, reptile really sympathetic or dorsal. I guess dorsal could be like I don't know, like what's the capacity of the earliest evolved things, like a bacteria or something? Like all they can do is shut down. Okay. It's just the play dead response. Neuroception of life threat means neuroception means the ability to pick up via your nervous system what's going on in the environment and what's inside of your body. So in the environment versus via your senses, and in your body via the vagus nerve. So neuroception is you're picking up like perception with the nervous system, the life threat. So dorsal vagal was like, early evolution, like, okay, we're gonna die. What should we do? We're gonna play dead. We're gonna shut down all of the functions. We're going to be immobilized. So it's like the brake pedal of the nervous system, right? Collapsed. So some of the things we associate with dorsal vagal are like depression, disassociation, zoning out, constipation, lack of appetite, lack of motivation, feeling like the question I always ask is like, if I told you you had to hide in a cave and never see anyone again, how would you feel? If you're in a dorsal state, you'll be like, yeah, let's do it. Okay. It's in this ladder concept, it's at the bottom of the ladder. Okay. Sympathetic, neuroception of danger. So the ability to perceive via the nervous system danger. So it's a little different from life-threatening. You know, the dorsal vagus like, there's no hope, we're gonna die, like shut it down. Sympathetics like there's danger, but maybe we can get like maybe we can take an action and we can figure out a solution, or we can fight our way out of it, or we can run away from it. This is the fight flight. This is mobilized, so it's the gas pedal. It's a more recent in the evolutionary like progress. It's like 400 million years old, whereas the dorsal is 500 million years old. It is here, you'll think of like the reptiles. So like if you put bearded dragons together, they will attack each other and eat each other, or they'll run away from each other. Okay. So sympathetic is what we would associate with panic, rage, anxiety, diarrhea, anxious peeing, sweating, rapid heart rate, rapid breathing, panic attacks, all of that good stuff. Okay. It's higher up on the autonomic ladder because it's actually like energetically in terms of frequency, like on a spiritual perspective, it's more empowered. And also from a nervous system perspective, it's more empowered. It just has more capacity. It's not a give up, right? The dorsal vagal is a give up, and the sympathetic's like, we're freaked out, but we're going to do something about it. Okay. So it's more powerful. And the latter thing is tricky because what it's telling us is that if we're at dorsal, we have to go through sympathetic to get to ventral, with which ventral is the most recently evolved. It is like 200 million years old, and it's the neuroception of safety. So it's like being able to perceive that something is safe with your nervous system. It allows us to be social, to co-regulate. So when we are like getting these, it came on with like the mammals. So when as mammals, we start to be like, okay, if we work together, we're stronger, we live longer, we can protect each other, we can connect, we can perceive like, hey, I think you're going to help me be safe. And then we can connect together and be social engaged and have like a lot more options, right, for safety. So this is at the top of the ladder because it's the most empowered place to be in terms of safety. Now, the confusion is for most people that if you go up into sympathetic, that it like only represents like anger or irritability or panic or anxiety. But sympathetic is not just those ineffective. Sympathetic also supports when like mixed with ventral, it supports like movement, assertive communication, all sorts of effective mobilization. And so that's how we move through sympathetic up into ventral. And I've got videos on that you can check out. Okay. So let's see how these feel in your body. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to think of a time. Let me just, yeah. Okay. We're going to do this first. We're going to think of a time when we've experienced each of these. And just as a say it up front, not everybody has experienced ventral. And so it's okay if you haven't. It's something that you have the capacity to learn. And in this playlist, there is a little video on ventral, and I talk a little bit more about that. So in ventral vagal, we are safe and connected. Okay. So we're going to think about a time when we have experienced this. Okay. So for me, let me think of a time when I've experienced ventral vagal. So I experience ventral vagal often when I'm taking my morning walks. And you have seen a lot of videos on the farm that I walk on every morning. I feel really safe and connected. So when I am in that state, I am open, I'm relaxed, I'm curious. So let's just take a moment, just write down 3 words of how you feel. Envision yourself in that moment when you're feeling this state, and think of 3 describing words: open, relaxing, curious, or mine. And the world is warm and inviting and sparkly. I feel like that one of the main things I notice about the world when I'm in ventral is the little glints of light that create like sparkles everywhere on the grass or on the water or in the little puddles. Okay. So we're also going to think about in ventral, how do you interact with food, sleep, and substances and other people? Okay. So when I'm in ventral, I feel my hunger. I crave food that feels really satisfying. Like I have a healthy appetite. I get excited about what I'm going to eat. I can taste my food and all the different flavors. I enjoy it, and I can eat slowly, and I can eat with other people when I'm in ventral. Um, so that's how I interact with food when I'm in ventral. When I'm in ventral, I sleep well. I go to bed early, and like maybe I read before bed and I feel like all cozy and tucked in, and I wake up feeling rested. Um, and if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm able to just like put on a meditation, relax, and let myself, chill until sleep comes. Um, how do I interact with other people? When I'm in ventral, I'm like cool if I want to hang out with other people, but I'm cool if not. Like, if there's people around, I'm like, oh, hey, like cool to be with you, but like conversation's kind of slow. There might be like pauses when I'm in ventral with my kiddo, like maybe like I'm doing my thing and he's doing his thing. Like it's not a grabby, it just feels really chill. Like if we exchange words or get involved with something together, that's cool. If not, no biggie. Um, so yeah, that's a little bit of ventral for me. Now we're gonna think of like a symbol, like a little like image or word or symbol that matches ventral for you. So I think for me, mine is like 2 hands like open like that. It just feels like very relaxed and open. Mm, yeah. Ugh, lots of yawns and ventral. Very relaxing state. Um, and there was one more thing. The symbol. Oh, and how does your body feel? So my body feels like sort of like the same feeling when you get when you're at the beach or at a pool and it's like warm but not scorching, and you're like the perfect cozy worm and all your muscles are just sort of like floppy. Not like heavy, but just like floppy. Yeah, warm and floppy. Okay, sympathetic. Okay, when I'm in sympathetic, let me think of a scenario when I'm in sympathetic. Okay. Totally when I am responding to emails about co-parenting. um yep. Okay. So I am shaky, scared, um rushed. The world is like I picture like a tsunami, like impending doom. like rushing at me, attacking me, uh, terrifying. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. That one, and I can feel it in my body right now. Tight stomach, clenched shoulders. Um, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Um, I feel like my thoughts are like bing, 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 bing. Like it can't catch them. It's very fast feeling inside my body. Um, I feel like I feel like that like terrible feeling of like I've got to do something, but I don't know what. Um, Food. How do I interact with food? Um, I don't spend a lot of time in sympathetic, but I would say probably here is like eat something as fast as you can, like scarf it down, like jam it in my mouth. Maybe here is when I have that feeling of like I need to eat 10 cookies and have them fill my entire mouth, or like take like a huge handful of chips and like fill it. It's like a overstuffing. Get it? And I want to crunch something, like I want to bite something. Um and it's probably I'm eating so fast that then I'm feeling like sick to my stomach full after. Um, yeah, I don't love sympathetic. How do I interact with sleep? I do not sleep. I just rev thinking, 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 thinking. I don't do it anymore, but I used to like redo every single conversation, analyze it, every email, and then I would translate it also into Spanish and analyze it in Spanish in case there was like new information when I translated it into Spanish. Um, okay. How do I interact socially? This is like when I'm like talking really fast and I'm not listening to the other person. And I am like I can tend to dominate conversation. And this is I really get into like over explaining. Like I will keep talking, 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 talking about like minute details that nobody wants to hear. Yeah, yeah. Okay, symbol for sympathetic. Yeah, it's like an explosion, like a pew, like the one of those little on a cartoon where it says pow and it's like a jiggy jaggy caption or like air caption around it. Yeah, yeah, that. Um and then what was the other one? Oh, how does my body feel? We already talked a lot about my body, but yeah, shaky, tight, not in my stomach, like I'm gonna throw up. Um Awful. I used to describe it when I was little like broccoli, like my stomach felt like broccoli, which I have never known why that makes any sense to my mind, but that is. Okay, let's move on to sympathetic. Ugh. Bah. Okay, dorsal, immobilized collapse. So when am I in dorsal? Oh, I've spent a lot of time in dorsal. I would say the easiest time for me to notice dorsal is when I wake up and I'm like, I can't do it. It sounds like too much. I don't want to do it. I can't get out of bed. Um, so that's like if I'm overtired or if I'm just like feeling overscheduled, like if there's a lot of things on the schedule and I know like especially days when maybe for some reason like I have an appointment, I'm not going to be able to do my walk or something, or I have to get my kid to something really early, especially days when the schedule changes and it's like not my regular routine, um like on a travel day for example or something. Okay, so I am stuck. I am scared. I am frozen. I am like disgusted. I am Done. Can't. Yeah. The world is confusing. Um, like I'm seeing like a fog, like a blur, like I can't even put words to it. The world is like something I totally can't connect to and I have no understanding of. Um, how do I interact with food? Can't eat it. Won't eat it. Does not sound okay. Not an option. Just totally not. It's a hard no. Um, no food. Um, if someone tells me they think I need to eat, I fucking hate them. I need to like destroy them. Yeah, it's like the worst. Food is the worst in dorsal for me. Um, yeah, I spent so much time in dorsal. Okay. Sleep. Most people sleep more with dorsal. I feel like maybe it's my brain injury stuff, and sleep is very disruptive for people with TBI, but I've never been a sleeper, so I just would feel like I cannot get out of bed, but I cannot sleep, and I'm like too tired to sleep. Have you ever felt too tired to sleep? That's how it feels to me. It's like I can't even rest. I'm too tired to sleep. So I just lay there being like miserable. Socially, no. It's a no. I never want to see anyone ever again. No people. I can't. I don't want to. Not, it's the same as food. It sounds like a horrible idea. If someone was like especially when I was in 12-step groups and I actually like broke up with a sponsor over this because she was like, I mean, it wasn't just this, but she was like, you have to go to more meetings. And I was like, no, absolutely no. It's absolutely not. I cannot see humans. Very isolating. Um Okay. How does it feel in my body? Yeah. Like I don't have a body. I don't have a body. It's just like that fog includes my body. There's nothing from the neck down. It's like almost even like eyes down. It's nothing. It's nothing. I am not here. I am not a person. I do not have a body. I'm not doing it. It's like I'm on strike from being a human. Um, What is the symbol for it? I think it's that like fog cloud gray. Blah. It was awful. Um, and what's the last part? Um, oh yeah, in my body. We did it. Okay. 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 Awesome. We did it. So do that with yourself, okay? And think through all of that. That'll help you to be connected to these in a way that won't feel so like, what are we talking about? So you can call ventral just like calm and connected. You can call sympathetic mobilized. You can call dorsal immobilized if those words ventral, sympathetic, and dorsal don't work for you. Okay. All right. Let's see what this next part is, Deb. Dana. This is very cool. So this is Deb Dana's version of my what not Deb Dana's version of my SOS is similar to Deb Dana's notice and name skill. I didn't know the notice and name skill before. So it's I came up with a SOS separate from it, but we're both doing the same thing. Okay. So notice and name. Number one, what does my SOS stand for? Sense, optimize, support. Okay. So Deb Dana's version of that is one, notice where you are on the autonomic map. So you'll be like, check in with your body. Am I feeling mobilized, immobilized, ventral, somewhere in between? Name the state. Okay. Three, turn toward your experience. Four, bring curiosity. Listen for a moment to the story of your state. So what I love about this is she doesn't even ask you to like do an exercise yet, right? She's just saying, let's just show up for it. And this is really like body dialogue. This is also 37th gene key in a major way, I feel like. Um, which is my life purpose gene key, which is so cool because it like really matches who I am. Um, this is the like how does 37th gene key put it? Or actually this might be not 37th gene key. This might be I mean I think it is partially, but this might be just like overarching gene keys. Doesn't Richard Rudd say like the three things to do for gene keys is accept, allow, embrace? Yeah, that's an overarching gene key thing, which I think is really rad because this is totally the path for the nervous system stuff is this. It's like accept it is, and you accept it by being like, okay, this is what's happening, number one and two. This is what's happening. Turn toward your experience is like allow, right? It's like, all right, look at you. You are freaking out about this email. You are shaking right now and you are typing as fast as you can. Wow, you look very mobilized. You are definitely in the sympathetic state. There you are, right? Bring curiosity is like the beginning of embrace, right? And listen for a moment to the story of your state. It's just like it's embracing is like such sweetness, right? It's like hugging. Like, oh my God, hug the sympathetic response. Like, I'm not here yet, folks. Like, if I were able to be like, oh, look at you shaking hands and you're about to throw up, and you think if you don't write this email in negative 2.5 seconds, you're going to die. Like, tell me all about it. You know? It's so, it's such a sweetness. There's like no fixing energy in this, which Deb Dana, bravo. This is why it feels so good to be around you. Because my SOS is like totally in the like get make it actionable, like the basically her notice and name is all the S, just sense. But then there's this beautiful like allowing and accepting and embracing. Well done, Deb Dana. She is very cool. You should definitely check out her book Anchored. I'll put a link to it. Well done. Yeah, because the optimize is like, okay, now where would you take this? You could support yourself with a nervous system exercise. And then self inquiry, you can learn more about, what's going on, which I guess is the listen for a moment to the story of your state. But I just love the sweetness of this. It has a very embracing quality to it. She really is cool. All right, maybe I'll find a little something, Deb Dana, to link here too if you want to find out more about her. Her book is let's be honest, I haven't really read the whole thing, but I know her stuff from spending a lot of time with her in the certification process, and I really appreciate and respect her, and she's on point about this stuff. Um, and I am notorious for starting books and then not finishing them and then recommending them to other people, and who knows what's in the second half of the book. I feel like you kind of know. I don't know why I don't finish the books. I would like to. There's my whole bookshelf of all my favorite books. I've like, which ones have I actually finished? I think only one of them, and it was the only one out of all of them because I have like my 12 favorite books. No, there's two of them that I finished. Only the one of them that I finished was Diana herself, which is a fiction book, which I always finish my fiction books, so that makes sense. And then the other one I finished was I Need Your Love, Is That True by Byron Katie, who's like my favorite. So that makes sense. And it was a story-ish because she used a lot of personal stories. Okay, we've gotten off track, team, which means I'm probably a little sleepy. So I'm gonna go try this out. Tell me what you think. And yeah, I think this is a nice one. Okay, love you so much.